This is Fred Beck from Fred Exciting, proudly sponsored by Empire Fight Store. It's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning over here in the UK. I got university tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, so best to say I'll probably be late to that one. But yeah, it's good to see you again. How you been? Enjoy my face.
Good, man. We're on Sensei time here, I guess. Again, another late one with late nights with Sensei over here.
Yeah, the last one. That's a good point actually of you. The last one is at like 2:30 in the morning. Now it's nearly 3 o'clock in the morning, so it gets later. Soon, I think about 10 inches down the line, we'll probably be on my time zone. That'll be nice, my morning time. But what have you been up to though, mate? What have you been doing?
The usual, just like last time, man. Busy teaching and enjoying the fights, sitting back and watching and training, working on some stuff as a martial artist. I have my 6th degree black belt test I'm going for next year. So a lot of preparation and training and focus has been shifted to that. But yeah, life's been great.
What's the highest degree of black belt you can get?
And Kempo Karate is our base system. It's what we use for our ranking system, at least, is 10th. And for every degree, that's how many years it takes to get it in our system. So like once you're like when I got my 5th degree, it took me 5 years to get that from when I got my 4th degree. And now it's going to be 6 years next year that I've been a 5th degree for 6 years. And then it'll take me 7 more years and then 8 more. So I'll get my 10th degree like when I'm in my 70s or something.
Wow, that long away.
Yeah.
Blimey. Okay. Well, I'm only 18 years old. Blimey, 70. No, imagine being that old. But what did you make of the fights in the past weekend, though? The Misfits spill.
It was awesome, man. You got a little bit of everything. A lot of new faces, which is nice. A lot of returning faces. So it's good to see. I like that when you have like, especially like a YouTube event, you have familiar faces, people that you want to see how they progress, right? People that are coming off of a loss, people that are coming off of a win, and then some brand new people. So if like a YouTube card has all of those 3 things, I think it's always going to be really good. If it has all those 3 things. And yeah, the Slim and Taylor one stuck out for me. That was just insane, just absolute war.
Did you expect it to give a distance though beforehand?
Well, Ryan has shown that he's hard to be taken out. He just fought was it Pretty Boy Anthony Taylor, right? Who is no slouch, and it went to a draw. I didn't see the whole fight, but I know that it went to a draw, right? And Ryan's fairly new at boxing. I think it was the first SoStar event. Like that was his first fight, and he took that like on 2 weeks' notice, I believe. So I don't know unless I'm wrong on that. That's what I heard. So I mean, just he's so new in comparison to a lot of the guys here, so he has a lot of the intangibles. So I thought he'd be tough, but I thought Slim would get him out of there. But he nearly did. So fair play.
Yeah, I think the knockdown and the counter right hand that Slim put Ryan down with, and that was kind of the textbook shot that put him down. Obviously, when he does in the second round, actually, halfway through the fight. But a fighter like Slim, I interviewed him today, and it's up now. But who can he fight next?
So, Slim,
yeah,
man, that weight class it's actually the weight class that I'm in technically too, is like stacked in without even me in it. You have Kenny, Slim, Temper. If you want to Wasabi, Deji. There's all people.
Salt Pappy,
Salt Pappy, right? Gib, right? KSI. There's like this. There's so many of us in that weight class that can make that weight and compete. Jay Swingler, right, who just had a knockout finish, right? There's so many people in that class, but I think Slim. I mean, the Temper one to me was obviously his biggest win because that was like his toughest opponent to date, obviously, and Ryan has less experience than Temper does, right? But so I think people might have expected Slim to get that finish, but I think Slim needs like another dangerous guy to really put him over the hump so he could get like a KSI fight. I don't think it goes right to KSI next unless I don't think for Slim maybe the next step would be KSI, but I think maybe the next step for KSI would be Slim. right? You see the way I'm thinking about that. So
Mhm.
that could be a matchup if KSI is looking to bump up the levels from his last one. I don't really know. But Salt Poppy, Kenny, Swingler, all of those perfect for Slim. Salt Poppy. I don't know if I said that already. Right?
Yeah,
Gib,
that's correct.
Gib, Gib. I see any one of those, like those names right now, dangerous guys who are coming off of a win. I think coming off of a win is important. He beat Temperuas coming off of a win, and Ryan wasn't. But now, if you can beat a guy coming off a win, that puts Slim, because right now he's edging, like being a top tier guy. He's undefeated. He just has to, put another temper win together.
Do you think we're gonna get to a stage in YouTube boxing or crossover boxing where everyone's for everyone?
I don't know, because there's clearly people are, we've been for a few years. A perfect person for this is Kenny. Kenny was someone who started training when all of this YouTube's, boxing started. And he was someone that had a liking to it and started to train. There's probably people now doing the same thing. So next year, when like KSI Faze Jake Paul, there's going to be new faces, even what we have now. So I feel like there's constantly new faces almost every card. And with that, the pool's only going to grow and get bigger. If the pool was going to stay the same, then I would say it would just kind of like recycle. But with the new people coming in, I think it's just going to grow. I mean, all the big names should fight each other, which is nice. That pool's getting bigger. The weight classes are seeing me become deeper. But I just, look at Salt Poppy. He just came right onto the scene on the last card, his first fight, and all of a sudden now, bang. You know what I mean? He's a guy that we can't stop talking about.
The guy that is very, very difficult for him to get fights off happy. I can imagine the near future will be quite hard for him to get fights. Just he's that good.
Yeah, think about it. The next card in November, there could be another guy that we like Salt Poppy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That could happen. That can happen every single card. And then that's just how it goes,
I put my tickets today, actually. I went to the flight center and put them for Dubai and Texas. You gonna be at that Texas one?
When is that Texas one? Was that November?
It's the week after Deji's one. Let me just get up here right now. So Deji's fight is on the 13th of November, which is a bit odd because it's on a Sunday. That's on the 19th of the Texas one.
Yeah, so that's where I am contemplating. It's gonna have to be one or the other. There's no way I'm making two trips back to back. So I'm trying to make the Dubai one happen. We'll see. But I would really, if not, then I would really like to make that Texas one for sure.
Go to the one that's Wade's going to. Then you can both do the podcast, and Wade's gonna be at the Dubai one.
Yeah, I know. That's
I can't believe Wade's gonna miss the other one as well. So I'm pretty sure
I know. Both. So that's like that one for sure. I think it's domestic, so it's a lot easier to get to.
Yeah. So, but I didn't know it's about a 16-hour flight from Dubai to Texas. So it's quite far. I'll be going business. I'll be going economy. So yeah. We're gonna get there. Not as steep. You're gonna get on the flight. But let's about YouTube boxing. Which fighter are you most impressed by on the card? Would you say?
Oh, honestly, Slim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because with Tommy, he had caught with the temper fight, right? He had caught Tommy, and Tommy wasn't really able to respond to that. So, and I remember in the fight, like, because it was Slim was only on 2 weeks' notice. He was clearly fading and he was fatiguing, and he caught Tommy early, and then got him out of there. We didn't really see him have to deal with any adversity beyond that and have to go to his extra bag of tricks. Like his first bag of tricks worked, and Tommy wasn't able to recover, and he got the win. And prior to that, we haven't seen him deal with a lot. But with Taylor, he got him with a big shot, and Ryan was throwing back. He was fighting, and it's hard to fight someone like that because you're landing power shots. You feel like you can get out of there every round. So you're putting a lot behind your punches and you're fatiguing. And I thought his timing looked really well. His ability up, his ability to not lose his confidence. Because Ryan was so tough, and his ability to stay on the front foot and land power shots and land different types of combinations and still find ways to land heavy things. And and to keep that pressure on and not let Ryan back into the fight was impressive, because, you know, it doesn't show much that when you land a punch, let's say like he lands the big shot and then Ryan just doesn't really get back up and he kind of folds if Ryan isn't the guy that he is, right? But beating a guy like that, how tough Ryan is, and showing that Slim can do that, to me, it's always going to be whoever has the toughest opponent and has that good performance. So to me, Slim.
Yeah, I do agree actually. JMX is also on the card, the return of JMX.
Yeah, that was a wild one, huh?
Was it a knockdown?
Yeah, I think there's different types of knockdowns, you know. Like there's knockdowns where you get caught stepping and you get caught and you literally just get knocked down and you get hit. But let's say if you were against the ropes or if you were covering and you get hit, maybe you wouldn't get knocked down. So it's a knockdown, but it wasn't like he got like a flash knockout or anything like that, or like rocked and then got dropped. It was one of those things that clearly he got caught off balance, which still counts as a knockdown. So like if a punch lands and then your hands touch the canvas, that's a knockdown. A slip means the slip was not caused by a punch. You know, so it's a knockdown, but it's not the knockdown that we're used to seeing. But yeah, great on JMX. Joel, if you're able to deal with that, respond, and just take him out, dude. Another guy. I think that finish is important for him because it really sets him up for his next fight, which is going to be a big one too. It's got to be.
Yeah, certainly. Do you think that Logan Paul fight can happen ever? You reckon?
I think so, but I just think Logan is doing so much right now. I can't see him with that performance. I think he would have needed an even crazier one, because getting a Logan fight, I think, is so tough. I mean, Logan's only fought KSI and Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying?
I think that fight's more likely to happen in MMA than in boxing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If Logan is going to go MMA, which is bigger risk, I think he's going to go a bigger name. You know what I'm saying? So I just think Logan right now is like, in terms of names, like you don't go KSI Floyd and then another, like it's got to be like a big time celebrity, a fighter. To me, it could be like an MMA fighter crossover to a boxer. I think someone more like that than another YouTuber, to be honest. That's what I get a feel. Unless JMX or someone has like a finish over a big name person that we deem dangerous.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from there. And it's one last point before I let you go. Getting late here. By the time this interview goes out, will be Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva fight week. I think a lot of people are split on this. They're picking Jake, they're picking Anderson. How do you see it going?
This one scares me a lot, because Anderson and Jake's skill set, like, it complements Jake's ability to land that shot that no one expects, or that Anderson doesn't expect he's going to land. Anderson has shown throughout his career that he gets comfortable. You know, he's not afraid to play with the head movement, have his hands down and taunt and do those things. And I feel like Jake also, his power shots increase when he gets hurt. We saw it in Tyron Woodley. When Tyron Woodley cracked him, Jake was actually able to crack him right back, like immediately, in the first fight, to allow him to survive that round and so forth. And Jake is willing to throw bombs, even when he's hurt and he's losing, or get stunned. So to me, I have this really icky feeling about Anderson getting some confidence and feeling like he's controlling the fight, and not and maybe getting caught off guard like he has before in his career plenty of times. If you look at the majority of Anderson's fights, there's always times in his fights, especially the recently, like the last 5 or 6, where he's gotten super confident, getting into this hand fighting motion, his head movement thing, and he's been tagged. That's like, it happens almost every time. So, and he always finds a way out and wins, or like before he's lost. But with Jake, I just feel like he may get too confident, and Jake he'll have plenty of opportunities to hit Anderson. And Jake's the type of fighter who's going to pull the trigger. So boxing for boxing, I think if Anderson takes it super serious and is like super technical and box super safe, I don't see a path for Jake. if Anderson plays his spider, Silva head movement game and wants to be playful,
which I think he will do at some point in the fight.
Yeah, and if he does that more than once, Jake's gonna. I know for a fact Jake is. I know that they have to be talking about that in their camp. That's something that they know. Everyone knows that Anderson does. So Jake's gonna be chomping at the bits to maybe even draw that out. Maybe even let Anderson build some confidence. That's a guy that you want to build confidence because he may get comfortable instead of getting super technical and be super like methodical with his shots. He may just get super comfortable and get confident and start playing around. That's a guy that becomes available the better he does. But Anderson just locks in, will be good because I'm not trying to see that goat get cracked. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind seeing a decision or something like that, but please no knockout of Anderson Silva.
That's really interesting what you said there, actually. I was just thinking, because I never heard anyone say it before about Anderson Silva. The better he's doing in the fight, the more likely he is to get knocked out just because he'll get cocky and do some showboating, have his hands down, his chin in the air. So that's quite interesting what you said there. But
and he's getting older, so the instincts aren't the same. And sometimes when you get confidence, you may think you're there. And also it's Jake. Jake is the type of person who has shown that when he's in danger, he doesn't just like circle out and cover. He ducks and he throws bombs. He tries to get out of those situations with throwing big knockout punches. And if you go back and watch his fight, especially with Woodley, when Woodley caught him, Jake answered those shots with power shots of his own. So,
so yeah, it's definitely gonna be a good one. What's the date for that fight? It's next week, isn't it?
Is it? I was just talking about somebody. I'm like, when is that thing? Next week?
I believe so. Just checking Instagram right now. Give me 1 second. Be on his main, wasn't it? Jake Paul's main. October 29th. Yes, that's next week. So I'll put this into out next week when that goes up. But you do think Anderson or Jake? Who are you picking?
I almost don't want to say Anderson because I feel like if I say Anderson, I'm putting it into the universe. I mean, if I was a betting man, who's the favorite? It's got to be Anderson, right?
So have a look. I don't know. Actually, it's a really good point. Who's the favorite? I think it'll be Jake. I think it'll be Jake who'll be the favorite.
You think so?
He's a big draw, isn't he, Jake? And
I know the draw, but I think Anderson's got to be the favorite. He beat Julio Cesar Chavez, man. He beat another boxer. Like, we're talking Anderson Silva here.
Okay, so you bet £5 on Jake Paul, you get £8 into return. £5 on Anderson Silva, you get £10 25 return. So yes, Jake Paul is the favorite.
Wow. So then, like, if I was a betting man, then like
you get double. Basically, you get doubles your money if you bet on Silva.
That's crazy. That's actually
you start betting now.
Here's the thing. When it comes to betting, I don't like betting on like favorites. To me, I don't really bet either. I don't bet. Is because I actually don't. The reason is because I've given advice out, but it takes away the enjoyment of the sport for me.
It does. You're right. Not that I know but it does.
But you're focused on like the outcome of what you bet. So I'm not against it. But I'm like, for me personally, I don't want to dilute what I like to enjoy in terms of just watching the fight. But if I was a betting man, I would try to only bet when I feel like the underdog has a chance. Because then if you're going to win big. Because like you bet for if you think it's a sure favorite. Fighting is the worst sport to bet on because it's the most unpredictable. It's like, why would you buy on fight sports? Like, it doesn't take a lot, to lose. There's more upsets in fight sports than there are in any other kind of sport. You know what I'm saying?
It's the most exciting thing to bet on as well.
Yeah, exactly. But if I was, I would look for the right opportunity to bet for the underdog. And for me, I'm like, if Anderson Silva is an underdog, yeah, Anderson.
It's gonna be a close one. Be really close. I want Jake to win because I'm always team YouTube, aren't I? But
yeah, no.
You gonna do a live watch along with Wade or anything like that for it?
I don't know. I might pop on with onto Wade's thing, but that night I actually have I'll be watching it, but I have a American football game. We were ranked in the semi-professional It's like men's league, but for American football, they don't have like rec league. So we actually have like some professional leagues out here that have been playing, and we're ranked number 11th in our region and 17th in the nation. So we just won a championship. We went undefeated in our division, reversing another champion from a different league. And we have like a bowl game. So that determines like nationals for the country. So we have a game on the 29th. So I'll be playing that, coming home, and then watching the fights.
Blimey, it's a busy day for you then.
Yeah, facts.
Blimey, same professional. That's quite impressive, isn't it? I didn't know you did. I knew you played, but I didn't know you did semi-pro. That's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah, every Saturday during fight camp, bro. My rest days was game day.
Oh, really? It's not worried about getting injured because it's quite a rough sport, isn't it? So yeah, would you took the risk?
Want to know something funny? I'm actually making a video about some of the experiences I had during camp on that tomorrow. So you get a little sneak. My video will be out by then, tomorrow. But I talk a little bit about it's funny because the video, I could talk about it now because the video will be out. But the title in the video is like super clickbait because I make it seem like I'm gonna make an excuse. Because I'm like, I fought Kenny with this injury, whatever. But I'm really doing that just so people can go to it. But the reason I'm making the video is a shout out to my doctor because he did all my PT for it, and I needed to show him some love for doing all that PT for me. So I'm making this video. So hopefully everyone goes to it so I can show everyone. It was actually my right arm too. So the fact that I landed.
Oh, you did actually have an injury.
Yeah. So the fact that I landed that right hand is
a miracle.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna take a picture of that and frame it and be like, this is only possible because of him, because I could not even lift my freaking right arm like 3 weeks prior. So, but he got it ready. You're gonna see the videos, no excuses, because he worked magic and I was ready to go. So there was no injury like fight night, but it was more just like camp preparation. But I talk about it because everyone has to deal with it. Kenny had a broken nose, fractured nose, right? So it's normal. There's always injuries. Brain injuries are different, which I'll talk about in the video. Concussions don't count. Those are different. There's like things hurt, and then there's injuries, and then there's trauma, brain trauma, and those are two entirely different things. So, but yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I'm about to make that video tonight.
This video is going out tonight now. It's going out next week. Have you seen the rush to that edit? Oh, that's the video you were editing then.
Yeah, I was editing the beginning of it because I had a brand deal part of it, so I sent them the draft. They got to send it back so I could finish it all up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, blimey, yeah. These don't take much editing, which is quite nice. Just cut the start and cut the end. They're sweet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
One last point. Have you seen the new Creed 3 trailer?
No, I just saw that Real and Wills posted something about it, but I haven't seen the trailer yet.
They've got Canelo and Tony Bellew in it.
Oh, Bellew again and Canelo. Nice.
Yeah.
There's something about, I don't know, it's the boxing movies or like fight movies. I think they'll never match what they were.
Well, I find nowadays they're quite unrealistic.
Well, that's the thing. So because of how detailed like media is now and entertainment, people are so invested into not only the sport but also the sweet science. Most fans used to be just casual fan. The casual fan of fight sports now and combat sports is not what it used to be. We're much more adept into the sport because we can watch all these different shows and documentaries and details and get into the training and learn so much more about it because of the internet and social media. Whereas back in the day, it was just like boxing back in the 70s and like the glory days. It was just like, grandpas and uncles like, yeah, man, this guy's going, like, it was just like, it was a lot more casual, like it's the same with all sports right now. Any type of sport you want to talk about, the casual fan has way more information about the sport. So when we look at like a movie now, we're like, like he's dropping his hand. He doesn't even look like a boxer. Like, you know what I'm saying? We get into it. We're like, Rocky was like doing terrible stuff too, but we just that time was a different time, and we just ate it up because you can only watch fights if you watched it that night, and unless that you heard about it. So there was a lot more of myth. There was a lot more like
the boxing technique and style wasn't as profound. back then as it is.
Yeah, because you also didn't see it unless you were watching it that night. There wasn't like you could like record it and go back and like watch highlights. That wasn't a thing, dude. Like you either watched the fight or you heard about it or read about it in the newspaper. So when you saw like a Rocky movie, you might have thought, oh, this is what they fight like. Like the casual fan is so different nowadays because we're so privy to slow motion and like detailed information, dude. Like it's not the same. So unless you have like really skilled guys, it's gonna be super cheesy. Same thing with fight scenes. Fight scenes nowadays, it's hard. It's not the same anymore.
Yeah, that is true. I guess that's why they do get boxes in. Then Gabriel Asado in it, Andre Ward. They have had boxes in it. I guess it just adds to it. But I think his opponent, Creed's opponent, he just looks so muscle bound. You just think he's going to be knackered after round 1 or round 2. So I guess as being a hardcore boxing fan, you do nitpick a little bit, which takes it's kind of like betting on the fights. It takes the excitement away. It sucks you in a little bit.
Yeah,
but.
and another thing is back in the day, like the actual footage of the fight. Let's say you're watching like Muhammad Ali fighting, right? And then you watch a movie like Rocky. The movie was shot with better production than that you would watch the fights in. So the movie would be better. Like, oh, it's cool. They get some slow motion in there and different shots, like in the Rocky movies back then. But nowadays, the actual fights, the content and the production coming from the fight is just as good or better than a movie, right? You got the slow motion, you got these crazy camera angles, you get to see all that. So there's what am I watching the movie for? Because the movie, unless we want to see like Avengers and like alien stuff blow up, because everything else just looks so cheesy because we can tell it's not real,
But even though we both said all that, we'll still be going to see it as soon as it comes out next March. So I guess it's a bit hypocritical, but you know what? Got to give it a little bit of a review. But I'll let you go. We're going for a little while here.
Yeah, you too. You need some sleep, man. Every time we talk with Sensei, you're gonna be like,
every time I talk to you, I'm always like, yeah, we're nearly finished. But thanks so much for the time. I do. Your merchandise. Any news on that at all?
Nothing yet. I'm still working on it. Right, Alana. I'm still working on the merch. Yeah, there we go. We'll be working on it.
All right, it's coming. As soon as it gets released, we'll make sure we do a good few interviews.
Yes.
Yeah. To promote it. Will we end before the end of the year?
That's the goal. Before the end of the year, right, honey?
Have a SR Logan's card to wear it all week on that and promote it. That's a smart thing.
Yes, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a very smart. Actually, just fight on that. Have it all across the fields. Co-main event or third from the top of the bill. Promotion. But I'll let you go. Thanks so much for the time. I'm sure I'll see you soon in a few weeks.
Yes, sir. Ooze.